500 years ago, an exiled Florentine diplomat wrote the most quietly terrifying book on human behavior ever produced. Not to teach people how to be loud, to teach them something colder. The less people can read you, the less power they have over you. Niccolo Machiavelli knew it. Today, 7 of the darkest psychological tricks buried in his writing. The ones that make you instantly harder to predict, harder to manipulate, harder to control. Let's go. Trick 1. Let your face disagree with your mind. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being readable. It's not your words that give you away. It's your face doing the talking before your mouth even opens. Machiavelli watched Cesare Borgia for years and noticed the same unsettling habit every time. Borgia's expression never matched the temperature of the room, furious inside, calm on the surface, plotting something, looking bored. And because his face refused to confirm what people expected, nobody could ever get a step ahead of him. Most people do the opposite instinctively. They perform their emotions in real time like a live broadcast, and anyone watching closely can read the next 10 minutes of their behavior just by studying their eyebrows. The trick isn't to feel less. It's to stop letting your face function as a subtitle track for your thoughts. Machiavelli's lesson wrapped in cold psychology. The moment your expression stops confirming your intentions, you've removed the one free piece of intelligence you were handing out for nothing. Trick 2. Ask questions instead of making statements. This is where the manipulation gets genuinely clever. A statement reveals a position. A question reveals nothing while extracting everything. Machiavelli's princes rarely announced what they believed in open council. They asked, "What do you think we should do about the border? What's your read on the ambassador?" And in doing so, they collected the full map of everyone else's loyalties, fears, and blind spots without ever exposing their own. Think about how much information people volunteer the instant you seem curious about their opinion. And think about how little they notice you never gave yours. People remember the conversation as an exchange. It wasn't. It was a one-way transfer of intelligence, dressed up as interest. Machiavelli's lesson: the person asking the questions is never the one being read. They're the one doing the reading. Trick 3. Let your enemies underestimate the wrong thing. Machiavelli wrote something that still makes strategists uncomfortable. He said it's often better to be thought a little foolish than to be correctly understood as dangerous, because the fool gets ignored and the dangerous man gets surrounded. This wasn't about actually being foolish. It was about controlling which version of you got broadcast. Every time you correct someone who's misjudged you, you're handing back information they were about to waste. Let the wrong assumption stand if it works in your favor. Let them think you're distracted when you're calculating. Let them think you're slow when you're already 3 moves ahead. The Stoics would call this restraint. Machiavelli called it strategy. Either way, the underestimated man moves through the world with a kind of invisibility the accurately assessed man never gets to have. Machiavelli's lesson: being misread in your favor is not a problem to fix. It's a weapon to keep loaded. Trick 4. Never let your reactions arrive on schedule. Here's the pattern almost everyone falls into without noticing. Someone provokes you, and the reaction shows up immediately, right on cue, exactly where they expected it. That predictability is a map. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who could be reliably triggered was a ruler who could be steered simply by whoever learned which words to say. The fix isn't suppressing the reaction forever. It's decoupling the timing. Let the sting land, and let your response arrive somewhere else entirely. Later, calmer, on your terms instead of theirs. People who are hardest to read aren't the ones who feel nothing. They're the ones whose feelings never show up when you're watching for them. Machiavelli's lesson: a delayed reaction cannot be used against you, because by the time it arrives, no one remembers which sentence caused it. Trick 5. Keep one door of your life permanently closed. Machiavelli warned constantly about rulers who confided in everyone equally, believing that openness bought loyalty. It didn't. It just meant there was no version of them that remained unknown, and a fully known man has no leverage left in reserve. The trick here is deliberately unglamorous. Pick one part of your thinking, your finances, your next move, your real opinion of someone, and never let it fully surface. Not to your closest friend, not under pressure, not even when it would be easier to just say it. Not out of paranoia, out of architecture. A person who is 90% transparent still reads as an open book, because people fill in the missing 10% with imagination, and imagination is usually more cautious than the truth would have been anyway. Machiavelli's lesson: the parts of you nobody has ever fully mapped are the only parts of you that remain entirely yours. Trick 6. Mirror the room, then break the mirror without warning. Machiavelli's princes were masters of appearing to agree, nodding along, matching the room's temperature, blending in completely, right up until the exact moment they didn't. That sudden departure from the expected pattern is disorienting in a way flat opposition never is, because people had already stopped watching you closely. You'd made yourself predictable on purpose, and predictability earns you the one thing unpredictability can't buy directly, which is being underwatched. Then, at the moment that actually matters, you move differently than the pattern suggested, and by the time anyone recalibrates, the moment has already passed. This isn't deception for its own sake. It's timing, the same currency Machiavelli valued above almost everything else in political life. Machiavelli's lesson: the safest place to hide your real move is inside a pattern everyone already thinks they've figured out. Trick 7. Let silence do the work, explanation can't. This is the one that ties everything else together. Machiavelli noted that a ruler who explained every decision invited every subject to weigh in on the next one, and the same trap catches ordinary people daily. The instinct to clarify, to justify, to make sure everyone has the accurate version of your intentions feels like honesty. It's actually surrender, because it hands your reasoning to people who will now spend their energy finding the cracks in it. The genuinely unreadable person lets the silence sit exactly where the explanation was expected to be. Not coldness, precision. They answer what deserves an answer and let the rest remain unclaimed territory. Because once something is explained, it can be argued with. And once it's argued with, you're no longer in control of it. Machiavelli's lesson: every question you leave unanswered on purpose is a small piece of leverage you never gave away. Here's where this gets personally useful, not just historically interesting. When you start applying even a few of these, something happens that reveals a lot about the people around you. Some of them get uncomfortable. They push harder to figure you out, as if your composure were a personal insult. And some people, the rare ones, stop needing to read you at all, because they've learned to trust the pattern of who you are instead of demanding access to every detail of it. Machiavelli spent an enormous amount of ink warning rulers about the men who only stayed loyal as long as they felt fully informed. The moment you stop supplying that constant stream of access, you find out who was actually with you and who was only ever studying you. What makes unreadability so much harder to practice than it sounds? It's not that staying guarded is difficult. It's that every instinct in you was trained to believe transparency equals trust and mystery equals threat. But the opposite is often closer to the truth. Full transparency handed to people who haven't earned it creates exposure, not connection, because it turns every part of you into something that can be studied, predicted, and eventually used. Controlled unreadability, held without cruelty, creates a different kind of presence, the kind that makes people pay closer attention precisely because they can't fully account for you. Your face is yours. Your timing is yours. Your unclaimed territory is yours. And the moment you stop handing all three away to anyone who's simply curious, you'll notice something Machiavelli understood 5 centuries before psychology gave it a name. Subscribe if you want more of this. History, psychology, the hidden mechanics of power and self-control. We go deep on all of it. Drop a comment. Which of the 7 hit you hardest? See you next time.